Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana, and we're here today with special guest, Laura Burke, who's here to share with us the Jolene Mystery series. So is the missing piece to a cold case hidden in plain sight, just waiting to be uncovered? Well, today's guest is here to share with us just that. So Laura Burke has always been and always will be a storyteller. Since childhood, she dreamed of becoming an author, and now, with her stories in print, that dream has become a reality. Her passion for mystery, particularly murder mysteries, began at the age of 8. This lifelong fascination led her to a career as a private investigator after spending 20 years as a nurse. In this role, she worked closely with police officers and detectives on several closed case files, achieving remarkable results. So welcome to the show, Laura Burke.
Thank you, Marianne. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, what an honor it is to have you here and to talk about the Jolene Mystery series. Can you share with us what inspired you to write this?
Well, I've written 17 murder mysteries, and I said, I think it's time to do a series. Everybody is clamoring about doing series right now, and you see series on the television all the time. So Jolene popped in my mind, and she decided it was time for her to make her appearance. And so, therefore, we started the Jolene Mystery series.
So let's talk a little bit about the book without giving too much of it away, because we don't do spoilers here, but why don't you share a little bit about the book?
Okay, the series, Jolene is interested and fascinated by cold cases. And if you ever have done any investigating on how many cold cases there are in America, you would be really shocked to learn that right now there is over 100,000 cold cases in the United States. And these are cases that have been just forgotten, actually. And I started doing some background checking. And my series is about cold cases, but it doesn't involve anyone real or any cold cases that are shuffled off to Buffalo. So Jolene, she's interested in doing cold cases, and she's very good at solving the crimes.
How fascinating is that? And so, why don't we talk a little bit about the location? So, what made you choose New York?
Well, it's not only New York. She travels around. She's been to Louisiana. She's been to Kentucky. She's even been to California with these cases. So it's just, she picks the cases from the old FBI files. And if it sounds very interesting to her and it's over 10 years old, she drives right in.
And so, what type of research do you do for this book, or is this something that just flows from you naturally?
Basically, it flows very natural. I do a little research on the cases that are in the cold case file, and then I modify it to write the book.
And have you traveled to all the locations that you share about in the books?
No, I've been to all of those states, but no, I don't travel to those states to do the investigation for her.
So I know in your book you share about how Jolene, she kind of is in this transition from police work to private investigation. Why was that important?
Well, what started it all was she had a friend that disappeared, and she couldn't figure out what happened to her. And she was taking newspaper clippings and putting them in a notebook about other girls that had disappeared with no reason. And her father saw it. He's the chief of police in the small town that she lives in. And he asked her one day when she came home from school, she was in high school, what was that all about? And she said, well, my friend disappeared, and I've been cutting out clippings of other girls that have disappeared around her age. And I'm determined I'm going to solve this. She went on to do a little private investigating with her uncle, who was a PI, and she said, this isn't cutting it. So she started out on her own and started doing private investigating work on her own. And that's where it came into play, that she started working with the FBI and solving some of these cases. She's always been very, very, I guess you would say, intuitive to a lot of things that happen. She's always been very willing to find out exactly what happened and to bring closure to the families of the people who have been shuffled off and not even the lightest thing told to them about what happened to their loved ones.
That is just remarkable that we have that many cold cases out there that have yet to be solved.
And, it seems like nobody cares. That's the main thing that Jolene tries to do. She tries to solve these cases that the police and the FBI, they're overworked. We all know that. And they can't be everywhere at the same time. They have too much going on. So when Jolene came into the picture, she could take one case and really focus on it to solve the crime.
Well, on that note, we're going to pause here for a quick break. We've been speaking with mystery writer Laura Burke in regards to her series, the Jolene Mystery Series. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Are you an author, speaker, or expert who is looking for more publicity? Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up for free interview requests from shows looking for guests. Radio Guest List is the #1 free booking resource for radio, podcasts, and TV talk shows who are looking for experts like you right now. Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up today to get the visibility you deserve.
There comes a moment when you realize you're somewhere special. When you discover that each beautiful creature that you see has been rescued from a life of absolute horror and brought to this incredibly free place. Here's where their lives were forever changed and where yours will as well. Discover over 500 tigers, bears, and lions at the brand new visitor center at the Wild Animal Sanctuary just outside Denver. For more information, visit wildanimalsanctuary.org. Discover true freedom at the Wild Animal Sanctuary.
It's one thing to become attached to your perfect home, but what do you do when that home becomes attached to you? A family in dire need of a fresh start, a mysterious house tied to the past. Buried deep within the foundation of the old Far Hill Manor lies a centuries-old secret. Dark forces or something stronger just waiting to be discovered. Caretaker, a supernatural thriller by breakout authors R.J. Halpert.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
I'd like to thank Jason Eastwood at Guitarfulness for sharing his inspiring music and talent with us. His music is known worldwide for cultivating atmospheres of harmony, inner peace, and clarity. Visit Jason's website at guitarfulness.com. Join his newsletter, be part of his community, and download his music. Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. We're here today with special guest, Laura Burke, who's sharing with us the Jolene Mystery Series. So what research did you do to kind of ensure that the detective and police kind of procedures and work felt authentic?
Well, she went to police academy and she became a police officer. And one of the cases that came across her desk, and her partner they all said, well, this woman was a prostitute, so we'll just shuffle it off to the FBI. Well, the FBI didn't want to take it because they are overworked as well. So they decided, well, she's just a prostitute like the police said, so we'll just, stamp it closed and throw it down into the basement. And that's what they did. So that's where Jolene comes into play. These cases that Jolene solves are 10 to 15, 20 years old. We know that the police are overworked. We know the FBI. They all have cases that are coming up right now that they have to get involved with. They don't have time to go and search for somebody that's a killer. They don't have time to really do the investigative work that needs to be done.
Yeah, there's just so much on their plate, my goodness, to kind of expect that they're able to handle everything. I can understand that. It's just it really takes me, and I think in many ways, like an advocate like Jolene is, to kind of say, hey, I want to dig into this and figure out what's going on.
Exactly.
So your book blends this detective work with small town life. How do these elements enhance the suspense?
Because they are small towns, and a lot of these cases are in rural areas or in cities that have a lot of transit people, or a lot of crime itself. And that's where Jolene comes into play. She decides what case that she wants to take, and then she digs in with both feet. She also is working with two FBI people that have been assigned to her. And believe it or not, around the third or fourth book in the series, she starts dating one of those FBI agents. So you got a little bit of romance going on there too.
Well, all good books have a little romance in them, right?
Exactly. Everybody said, Laura, you ought to write a romance novel. And I said, I'm not into romance. I like my murder series, my murder books. And they said, but you could write one romance book. I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll put a romance in one of my novels for the Jolene series, and that should be good enough.
Well, and Jolene is such a strong, determined protagonist. So, how did you balance her intelligence with being vulnerable and making her relatable?
Well, she's a very good-looking girl. I kind of formatted her off of me. I was a private detective myself, and and I was pretty good looking, and I was a blonde. So I kind of made Jolene look like me, and that I'm a very strong-willed person, so I made Jolene a very strong-willed person too.
Oh, so the truth comes out. Okay. I think it's so fascinating how that all comes together, that you have really kind of structured this protagonist in regards to you and the work you used to do.
Right. And well, I was a nurse for 20 years, and I like nursing, but it just didn't really suit my willing to do other things. And being a private eye was always where I wanted to be and do the things I wanted to do. So I made Jolene kind of right after me.
Well, can you share? Because I know you've got other books in this series. Can you share them with us?
Most everything that I have done is murder mystery. I have one other series, it's Maison series, and I have six in that series. I have the seventh book that I haven't finished yet. I do have three or four books that were judged by readers' favorite, and they have been awarded third place, and they're 5 stars, which I thought was pretty fascinating. I'm always hoping to strive for that number one spot, and one day I will get it. I just I think writing murder mysteries takes a lot of stress off of me and what I do, because I work 5 days a week and I write on the weekends. And I pump out about 2 books a year, which most people, they pump out one book a year, or it takes them a couple of years to do one book. But when I get to going, it just all falls into place. And I think it's because of my background in being a private eye that I have that willingness to, really express myself and express how I feel about these cold cases, and just really, really enjoy writing.
Well, it definitely shows that you do with the amount of books that you've written. I mean, you're such a prolific writer, and your background with being a nurse and private investigator gives you a lot to lean on as you're writing your books. I mean, you have such a fascinating background.
Thank you. I enjoy my background. I wish sometimes I could go back and tweak a little bit, but I think we all do that.
I found your book to be just a remarkable read. Where can our listeners connect with you, Laura, and be part of your community and learn more about your work?
They can go on Laura Burke Mystery Writer. That's my website, and I have 2 or 3 interviews that are on there, and they can listen to those. And there's also a place that they can write to me and ask me questions, and I will get back to them. It gives them my site, my internet, so that I can get back to them. And if they want to order any of my books, they can order them on Amazon or on Barnes and Noble. And there's several other places, and they're listed there. So that's the whole total story.
Well, Laura, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Oh, you're very welcome, and I'm so happy to have met you, and I hope that we can do this again sometime.
Well, thank you, Laura. It's been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about your series, the Jolene Mystery Series. Again, if you'd like to connect with Laura Burke, you can at her website, lauraburkemysterywriter.com. The Jolene Mystery Series is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and everywhere books are sold. And remember, support our indie bookstores. If you don't see it on the shelf, just ask for them to order it. And of course, if you have a book club, make sure to add this to your list and reach out to Laura to have her come and talk to your book club. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.